Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is honestly going to be a short one, but I don't even care because I am so excited for this video today. We are going to be building a park. This is what I literally asked for at the beginning of the year. I wrote out a list because I wanted to make a video and then I never did. But I wrote out a list of stuff that I wanted to be put into The Sims 4. And number one top thing on my list was more kid stuff, like actual playgrounds that we can build with actual slides and stuff like that. And with the new Adventure Awaits pack, we just got them. So I am super, super excited. I get to make a park today. I had my kids in mind while I was building this park the entire time. And I'm excited to just hop on into it. Let's go ahead and just get started. While the game is loading, let me give you guys a friendly reminder to hit the subscribe button down below so that you can be notified anytime I upload a video. And if you wouldn't mind to leave a like and a comment, it'll just help to push my content out into the algorithm so we can make more internet friends along the way. For today's comment, tell me a good playground story that you have. Tell me a good playground story. My favorite moment as of now, there's a ton of them. My kids and I are at a park every single day. But my favorite moment for me personally as a person is the other day while I was at the park with my youngest. I did the monkey bars fully across. I have not been able to do monkey bars in 20 years. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Now that that is out of the way, let's go ahead and get on into the speed build. So this park is part of the Newcrest builds that I'm doing. It's part of rebuilding Newcrest. And I am putting this behind. These lots over here on the right are actually lots that we're going to get into in a future video. So this is on, I believe the lot is called Fern Park already in Newcrest, so it was just asking for a park at this point, you know what I mean? I wanted to make, I had my children in mind the entire time while I was building this park. I really wanted it to be something that they would enjoy playing on. And I did kind of take a few things that I love from old parks that we've had, and also parks that we currently have. I just kind of took some favorite things that I love a lot. So you'll notice that I put around the lot, I did terrain paint of some asphalty stuff. It's a track. So when we lived in Orem and my oldest was young, a very young child, we went to a park every single day and it had a track around it. And this track was actually a mile long. And I would run that track every morning before he was awake, and my husband would stay home with him. So I really wanted to incorporate that into this park as well. And honestly, a bigger lot probably would have been better because I also wanted to put some kind of basketball court because, and this is probably going to sound really stupid when I say this, but another good park memory that I have with my oldest is when my husband was doing his clinical rotations to become a doctor. Our last clinical rotations were back in our hometown. I have a lot of trauma of back home, and but I also had a lot of good memories just with my own little personal family when we moved back there. I don't ever see myself moving back there. It's not something I ever want to do. When we moved back there for the last clinical rotation, it literally sent me into a bad depression. But I got the help that I needed for that. But I don't foresee myself ever going back. Anyway, we lived, our apartment that we were renting at the time when we lived there for the last clinical rotation was right across the street from the library and a park that I actually grew up with my entire life. My grandma would take me there all the time when she would watch me when I was little. we would go to the library and pick up books, and then we would go and play on the playground. And so it was really special to me that my son got to kind of play on this playground for a little while we lived there, and we had a lot of fun there together. Honestly, we had so much fun there. So and that park had a big not baseball, this is basketball. I'm sorry. I know sports. I promise I do. But it had a big basketball court, and so I wanted to incorporate that one as well. Even though it was trying times, it was still really, there were still really good and precious moments that I never want to forget. So I added a basketball court in there as well. I also put in, instead of building out a restroom, I just put in one of those pre-built restrooms. It's like a rabbit hole bathroom, basically. Where you personally can't go into it, but your sim can go in and go to the bathroom in it so that's that. I also used the new lot type that is considered a park, because before it's considered a playground, not a park. It was already in The Sims, and then when Adventure Awaits came out, they added in the playground aspect. So there isn't really too much more to chit chat about. So should we just get into the full tour? I feel like we should. Let's do it. Let me make sure my sound is working correctly. Yeah, it should be. This is just not turned up all the way. Alright, Newcrest. Here we are in Fern Park, classified as a playground. I'm so excited. There's also a reason that I picked this specific spot for this playground, and I will get into it right now. So here it is. Here is the park. Oh my gosh, it looks so stunning. Look at her in all her glory. My kids would love this playground. They would absolutely adore this playground. So another playground that I wanted to base this off of, I'm going to be referencing a ton of playgrounds, but my kids they're my life. They love to go and have little adventures on playgrounds. So I love that they did a wood playground. I understand why they did that, and instead of a metal playground, they do have an option to do a colorful, more kind of traditional playground, but it still has the wood texture. If you can zoom in right here, you'll see that it's still very much wood. It's not metal, so it's not going to be your traditional playground, kind of the playground that I grew up with. It's metal, it's wood. But honestly, in Orem and also in Logan in Utah, if you're from Utah, we live in Utah, but they have a lot of wood built playgrounds, and they are so fun. And my youngest hasn't been to one. We haven't taken him to one yet because there's not one here where we live now, but when we were in Logan for a clinical rotation, they had a huge one, and it was amazing, and we went and played on that all the time. And down in Utah County, I think there's two of them. There was one fairly close to where we lived at, and it was awesome. It had a pirate ship. It was so cool. And then the other one was a little bit further away from us. It was a big wooden castle. It was so cool. So I'm glad that they went with a wood vibe, but I kind of also would still like to kind of have a traditional metal, but I'm not going to complain about it. We literally have playgrounds that we can build now. Beggars can't be choosers. I'm happy with what we have. So here's the playground. I did incorporate one of everything that they have. The stairs, we have the double slide, there's a ladder. I actually think I added 2 ladders in here. These climbing tunnel tube things. There's stairs up to the little X's and what is this? Tic-tac-toe. And then the spiral slide. And then I put the monkey bars right here. I am not 100% sure if your Sims will be able to cross these. I wouldn't see why they couldn't. I feel it should be okay, because they really just kind of like come across and, you know, go forward. They just kind of go back and forth with it, so I don't see why it wouldn't work, but it is The Sims, so you just never know. And then one of the little climbing wall things and a couple of these bubble out tunnels. I have the cutest pictures of my kids like waving to me from these bubble out tunnels. They melt my heart. This build for some reason just like has me in a chokehold, because like my kids would just love playing at this park. We would have a blast here. My kids also love swings, so I definitely had to incorporate some kind of swings. Can we get some kind of baby swing? Like, you know, the like bucket seat swings? My kids are obsessed with swinging. They have been like their entire life. And now that they're old enough to kind of like swing by themselves a little bit, they like to sit on the swings together and they pretend that they're dragons and they're flying around in the sky, and they even sing a cute little song, and it's so cute. But Sims, can we get a bucket swing so that we can swing like our toddlers and infants and stuff? That'd be awesome. Speaking of toddlers, we also have a place for the toddlers to come and play. I actually wonder, no, I like the colorful one the best. And then, like I said, we have that basketball court, and then our bathroom, and then over here there's also some grills with some little just tables. Honestly, I wanted to make, so usually, I don't know how parks are other than in Utah, because I've only ever been to Utah except for Florida when we went for our honeymoon. Other than that, I just know Utah. I've never left. So, I couldn't tell you what other parks are like, but parks here, they usually have what we call a pavilion, and it has like a bunch of tables and stuff there, because people will tend to like reserve their parks for like events and stuff. Like when I went to church when I was a youth, we would have like youth events at the parks all the time, or like stuff like that. So I thought about putting a pavilion under that, just because it's also kind of nice to like sit in the shade, but like it's also The Sims, and it doesn't really matter that much, so I just opted not to. And then I just really wanted to make the park nice greenery, have some shade trees covering the playground, because there's nothing worse than a hot playground. And then yeah, that's pretty much this build. I am super happy with how this turned out. I am so happy that The Sims finally have come out with some more like playground stuff instead of just like the regular playground things that they have. Can I even find this? Like before, they just had this like boat thing. And like, don't get me wrong, it's cute, but like, where's the slides? Where's the stuff that I can like do with this? You know what I mean? So I'm really happy that we have these again. Honestly, this pack, I haven't played around with it at all, in fact, but it's worth it, honestly, just for this, in my opinion. It would kind of be nice if this were like its own kit, but The Sims has its own issues that are going on right now, so, you know. But this is the build. To me, it's sentimental and silly, I guess, for some people, but to me it's sentimental. But yeah, this is the park. I hope you guys love it and enjoy it. And like I said, this is a short video, but I don't even care. I'm not even upset about that. I'm not incorporating any other video into this one. It's just for the park. That's it. That's all I had planned for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this build. I'm gonna go before I start bawling, because like I said, this was for my kids and I love them more than anything, so I'm gonna go before I start crying on the internet. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, so you don't miss any other uploads from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.